you, but that's really what he did.
Um, there's been other instances where I'll have to like, hey, like what happened to this, or reminding him to follow up with our clients and stuff. And I just feel like there's like I just
You
have to always remind him
did.
when, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all. So I'm looking at like the whole like ecosystem of like my business and how I want people to show up, and I just don't appreciate that.
Well, can't you go back and just say, I like to offer three? That way you can overdo more and then just cover that up.
Hmm.
Like see which one you vibe with most.
Yeah. So I was gonna go back to the client today and just kind of check in with him because he hasn't sent anything, and it's kind of still in the first week, and I don't want to lose a client, you know?
Offer them, Geo.
Yeah.
So I'm a big believer in that, and we'll get to that in a second. But let's go back to some more wins. Hold that thought, Fabian. I think it's a fantastic opportunity to continue a conversation. So,
Yeah.
any other wins, celebrations? Come on, welcome to the call, guys. Come on, let's get active. Let's get active.
I was excited. I Yesterday I thought I was going to lose two clients, but the one ended up signing the buyer broker, and then we're submitting an offer, and then Dan fixed my other one that I thought I was going to lose.
I didn't fix nothing. You did it.
Oh, thanks.
I just became your big brother and didn't allow what you told him to stand. So, other wins, celebrations? No, nobody. Just just quietness. Let's all be quiet.
I've been meeting a lot more investors, which I know I said I was going to stop working with investors, but like it always happens. Just at like a few networking events, and it's actually helped a lot in my favor. I submitted a couple offers for a few of them that I met, and a lot of them are actually realtors too. But they're like, bring me all the deals. Like, I'm never gonna take your commission. Um, they basically want to just do the investor side of things. And it honestly makes things a lot easier that they already know everything that they're doing. And they also, of course, most of the time will let you list whatever you bring to them after they fix the property up, which is nice. And I've met a lot of investors also that don't that have the fix and flip model, but they don't have a team, and they are realtors and they'll just list it themselves. And they don't want to do open houses. So I have like three investors who give me all of their fresh on the market listings and say, "Hey, can you hold an open house for me?" Which has been working really nicely.
There you go. There's magic in knowing that just because they have a real estate license doesn't mean they want to be a realtor.
Mhm.
A lot of people get the real estate license because they want the edge, be able to look into things, understand the process, but they still want you to be the face of their business. So that's awesome. Go make friends. And you've got the right personality to do so. So love that. Okay. Homework. Who did it? Joanne. Oh. Ooh. That's why most people didn't show up today. You notice that? There's a lot of people missing. Where is everybody? Interesting that I give it a little challenge, and the only person that shows up is the only person that's got multiple listings in the $1 million price category. Is this a coincidence?
She even reminded me too.
Oh,
Wait, am I missing something? Because I remember Seth gave us homework, but I don't remember having homework on this call.
yep. Last thing we talked about right at the end there. What was the homework, Joanne?
Um, Pattern interruptions. Just rewording questions.
Okay.
That's what I was come up with amazing, sexy questions. I was like, I know you had put up tens, but I couldn't remember.
I just thought it was so interesting to do. That's why I wanted to do it.
Well, good. What we talked about yesterday, the whole conversation yesterday was around sexy questions, right? And not just questions of sexiness, but sexy questions because they create more conversation. Pattern interrupt questions, questions that you would normally asked in a different way. Not asking, do you have any offers? Asking, what offers are you currently negotiating?
I asked that yesterday
Huh?
to, yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. I called an agent to see if I could walk her property with the buyer. And I said, what offers are you currently negotiating?
And how did she respond?
She's like, she was really nice actually. She said, no, we don't have any offers right now.
Yeah, but see how it just changed. It's not the typical nothing or bullshit because you caught her off guard. She told you the truth.
Yeah, I was
Dan, I
gonna.
learned one from you a long time ago that I use all the time now. Is there anything that'll prevent this from going FHA?
Yeah. What could keep this house from going FHA? That's a great question to talk to. Even if it's not listed as FHA eligible and online, it might be an oversight.
I use that all the time, dude. I love it.
It's a sexy question. All right, Joanne, give us a couple of yours. You won clearly, so I'll call Jenny and we'll figure out a prize for you.
Oh, I forgot that there was a prize.
Well, there was for the best sexy question, but since you're the only one that did the exercise,
Um,
you're gonna have to get one of these. You know what? Hold on. 1 second. In
He
my,
has one of his 1,000 gift cards for Starbucks.
I
do.
feel there's a dragon book in your future.
a dragon book.
Oh, don't fuck with me. I got so many. I got so many books that I can give away. Okay. I do have some gift
Wait.
cards.
I knew it.
I knew it. It's all right.
Things like
Man, let that be a lesson too. Keep a stack of Starbucks cards with you.
It's one of the best things I ever did is bought a fucking pack of them. All right,
You can
Joanne.
even get branded business card Starbucks cards now.
Yes, you can. I've ordered 400 of them.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
This isn't one of them.
I
But
just
this is now Joanne's Starbucks card.
have you received any offers that surprised you, like in a good way or a bad way, or what has been the biggest hesitation for the seller when receiving offers so far?
Let's do that one again. That's a great one. Do that one again.
I like that.
What has been the biggest hesitation for the seller when reviewing offers so far?
There you go. You guys hear that? That's got a lot of difference to it.
So, is there any deal breakers or red flags that the seller is watching for?
Okay, let's help her with that one. It's a pretty question, but it's not a sexy question. What would make it a sexy question?
Not being a yes or no.
What deal breakers have you seen in offers come in? that
Right.
you've
What
rejected?
I love the red flags because we all know red flags is a negative thing. Like what red flags have stood out in offers so far? What are absolute deal breakers? Love that. Love that.
And then like what types of terms have been attractive in the offers you've received so far? Just so that I can structure my offer better.
Okay.
Um,
There you go.
I need to restructure some of these. Has the seller turned down any offers? Like what did it look like?
Okay, here we go. Again, yes or no question.
Oh yeah,
Let's take it from pretty to sexy.
um I mean, is there anything in particular that would make
Oh, yes or no?
or no, I know I need to redo these. What would make your seller feel confident and excited about accepting an offer? What's your biggest concern about this transaction? What's the story behind your seller moving?
I
What
like that the story. You know, can you tell me the story about why your seller's selling? Or there you go.
your seller benefit from a rent back or flexible closing date? Are there any
Yes,
Ooh, I
sir.
like that. I like that. Did you guys catch that one? It's not just a a question to finding timeline, but it's giving a would your seller benefit? Now it's I'm working on behalf of a win-win here.
Yeah.
I like that.
Are there any terms that would put an offer on the top of the list, even if their price wasn't the highest? And then if your seller had to choose between a higher price or stronger terms, which would they prioritize?
There you go.
Can you say that one again?
If your seller had to choose between higher price or stronger terms, which would they prioritize?
Another one I stole from Dan was, what can I put in my offer that will make your client inclined to say yes?
Yeah, it's the opposite of my favorite response to what kind of offer should we write. And my favorite response to that, as anyone knows it, is give my sellers a really good reason to say yes.
I just flipped it.
Yeah. So Jim just re-engineered it, and that's what you do is you take a good question. And John Maxwell said this at the Better Up convention, and I loved it. He goes, how do you take a good question, you make it great? Is you just add to it.
Yeah, I was gonna go back in my scripts and rewrite everything. So I like this exercise. So
Let's
Now-
say a buyer and another buyer came in with the same price. What's going to make the seller pick us?
Terms?
I had written down, can you put me into the eyes of the seller? What am I looking for and what am I not?
There you go. I like that one. That would make me as a listing agent think a little bit. I'm looking for questions that are not going to like instantly get a response because I'm trained for it, but that trip me up just long enough that I've actually got to think about the words I just heard. Because I don't know about you, but I like to be kind of professional. Although today I'm wearing a very crinkled green shirt and it's okay. I got manual labor to do after this. But I like to sound like I know what I'm talking about on the phone. And when somebody says, "What's important to the seller?" and I respond, "Fine, how are you?" Anyone else done some shit like that? Like,
Oh yeah.
what are you doing today? Fine, how are you? What? Kill me now.
Oh, my mom just died. Oh, well, that's great. So what are you doing?
Yeah, here's the thing is those we're so in pattern already that these questions, these sexy questions are pattern interrupts. And why do I call them sexy questions? You're walking through a crowd. Everything is just neutral. Nothing stands out. But that sexy thing stands out, doesn't it? Now, sexy is, I don't want to, go to the effeminate of it all or the masculine of it all, but it just is. There can be a sexy car. Like you're driving the other day, I was where I was at. Doesn't even matter where I was going. I was driving down the road and just out of nowhere was a blue hypercar. I am not a car guy. I love cars. But I don't know them all. I don't. All I knew was this car doesn't belong in Tucson. San Diego people are like, oh, that was probably a Maybach X17-3. There's like 74 of them in my neighborhood. But in Tucson, we see a lot of white. Sedan. White. Truck. White. SUV. Black wheels. Lots of black wheels. But we don't see hyper blue hypercars. So that was a sexy car. It stood out because it made me stop and think. Could I tell you what car was in front of that car or what car was behind that car? No. It was probably white. I can tell you that much. But what I can tell you is in the moment, it stopped me. Made me focus. That's a sexy question. So, Joanne, great job with that. Text me your address. I will send you your gift card. If you don't have my phone number, shame on you.
I was gonna say these are really not these questions in particular, but I think it's really important to also be asking your buyer clients and your seller clients these sexy questions too, because that's something I learned recently, and all this has been tying great together since I learned that I might need more scripting practice. I went to go look at a property. It was a wholesale deal. It was like $3 million, but I didn't show it to my buyer alone. The wholesalers were there. And the questions that they were asking him, I was like, dang, I really need to start asking my buyers these types of questions because
What?
she was just like, okay, so what do you like about the property? What do you don't like? And then he would say what he doesn't like. And she's like, okay, so if you were able to fix this up for how much do you think it's going to cost? This amount of money. What would make you sign the assignment today? Or like, she was saying, okay, so what ARV do you think it's going to look at? How much rehab? I don't know. She was just asking the right questions and was really leading to a close. Like she would always be like, okay, so if you're able to do this and this for this much, how how confident are you signing the assignment today when I send it over to you?
Yeah.
And then he would give another reason. And then, she was just gauging out his seriousness and would always lead to a close.
Yeah. It's
And
it's question, answer, close. It's pace, lead, right? If I could you, would you? But you're also looking at every time they ask a question, it creates future paced environment. Like, how much would you remodel it for? Okay. Are you comfortable with that? Would you sign the ARV? Or would you sign the assignment or whatever it is? Okay, well, what's your first front end? What's your first project? Who are you going to sell it to? What's the end game with this? These are all questions that help you get further down the line, other than, do you like it?
Mhm. Yeah, and that's something I didn't know that I was doing. I was kind of just doing such a straightforward process. And even seasoned investors, like they need to be asked questions like that themselves as well.
Yeah,
Um,
everybody does.
and he was ready to sign the assignment too. She sent it over to him and he said, Gracie, I just need my contractor to get out there as soon as possible to give me a quote and I'm ready to sign it. And then somebody signed it a day before us. But it
Well,
was ready.
next time, remember how it felt to lose out by a day? Let's take the contractor with us.
Yeah, that's what I did the last deal I sent to him. I texted his contractor, and I honestly don't like him because he's just not quick on anything. He's always has something to go do, kind of like Fabi's lender, just like, I'm like, I don't want to work with him. He's just kind of ruining things when it comes to like fast pace. Like we got to put in our offer as soon as possible. But lesson learned.
Have you had that conversation with the contractor on a one-on-one basis?
Yeah, but it doesn't really matter. Like I said, this guy's a seasoned investor and he likes who he likes and he trusts him and he gets a good deal from him. So it's not really up to me.
No, not with your client, with the contractor yourself. With
Yeah.
the actual contractor.
Yeah, he doesn't care. I mean, like I said, my client's gonna choose him either way. So he said he'll get to places as soon as possible, but if he has prior commitments like going to church or a family gathering or whatever it may be, then he's like, sorry. Like he's not on it like that. Whereas like if I have a family gathering and I have a $3 million deal on the line, I'll be like, okay, I'll be back in an hour. I don't know.
Yeah, there's just no urgency to it, and that's fine. He probably has enough business, doesn't care. But now, back to the questions at hand. Joanne, do you felt like the time it spent on this outside of this call was worth your effort?
Yeah,
How much time did you spend on your list of questions?
probably like 30 minutes. Didn't take that long.
Okay. 30 minutes. And how far ahead in conversations do you think you're going to be now that you've got a little bit more that you can add to a conversation or get from a conversation?
Leagues ahead. Leagues ahead.
Leagues, my friend, leagues. The measure of depth here. That's what a league is. I don't exactly know what it is, but I know that the first book I ever read was 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Captain Nemo and the Nautilus. I'm a nerd, I know. It's okay.
Too. That's
I
fine.
played football, so that's okay. I can be a nerd. Now, if you did not do the exercise of asking sexy questions, writing down, and the exercise exactly was, it's 10 questions that you could ask a buyer or a seller. Like, could be the buyer's agent, could be a seller's agent, could be the buyer, could be the seller. I leaned it more towards agent to agent conversations because we are the ones that are usually trained in conversation and have some defenses already built up. But if you don't have some questions you can ask that will excite the soul, that will stop you from just looking at all the neutral and seeing the sexy blue hypercar, right? Then what are you doing? Now, I gotta pause our live recording because it won't allow me to do. Will it? Can I pause? Can I